Oops. That wasn't supposed to happen. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So today we're just going to be doing a simple mod. We're just going to be changing out my side marker lights. So I do have a base TL that come with the red side marker lights in the rear, but I did end up changing them out a little while ago and got the Type S side marker lights that are the gray ones in the back. The Type S ones definitely do offer a lot cleaner look compared to the red ones that come on the base. So the factory ones, I believe, are LED as well, but they only output like this square shaped kind of light, and I'm not a big fan of that. The newer LED ones are this full strip and they just look a lot nicer. So I ended up getting the blacked out ones just so that they match my turn signals on my mirrors. I did get the ones that match the current factory setup, which is the orange in the front and the red in the rear. I did have the option of getting the white in the front and the white in the rear, but I feel like that was just a little too much white. Maybe later on in the future I will get the set that is white just so I can put the white in the front, but we'll see. So let's take a look at what these lights look like. So what comes in the box, we get the two fronts as well as the two rears. So like I said, I did opt out for the black ones. You can see that this whole thing right here is actually the LED strip that runs from the front to the back of the light, rather than the OEM ones that have just a little block kind of look right here in the middle where the LED light is showing. Compared to the OEM ones where the side markers are actually flush to the car, this one actually has a tiny bit of a lip, as you can see right there where the LED strip light does go. I don't think you'll be able to tell once it's on the car, and I'm actually willing to sacrifice that just because the LED strip does give it a more modern look. Another thing to mention is that if you do have a Type S, these actually do require an adapter for the plug compared to the base, because the plug is actually different. So I ended up having to cut the wire from the wire harness and use the connector that came with the Type S side marker. So now that we've seen the new side markers, so let me just go ahead and pull the car in and let's get started on this project. Alright, so now that we have by the car, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys exactly what side marker lights I have on currently. I still have the base front side marker on the front, and then right here in the rear, you see I have the Type S one. So the base ones come with the red one usually, but the Type S ones are the grayer ones. The Type S ones definitely look a lot nicer than the red ones, just to give it a more sleek look. But now time to install these newer ones. I'm gonna start off with the fronts just because it is a little bit easier. I'm not gonna have to do any soldering or any kind of wire cutting. So I'm gonna turn this wheel inwards, and then I'm gonna get the 4 screws. I believe they're Phillips heads. I don't know if you guys can see them or not, but there's 4 Phillips head screws that we're gonna have to take out so that we can move this inner fender well and then access the side marker light. Alright, so let me remove these 4 screws. So there ended up being one of these push pins as well, a little bit higher on the inside, so you're just gonna have to remove that. I also ended up having to remove this styrofoam from inside the fender well just to be able to access it, but now I have access to it, so I should be able to pop it right out. So just go ahead and reach your hand in here, and there are 2 pins on the sides. Just push those pins and it should pop right out. Just like that. And then we have a connector as well. So this connector, just push down on the connector and it slides right out. So I'm gonna go ahead and wipe down the surface over here just to clean it up a little bit, and then I'll put the new one on. So we got the new one, just about to click it in, and I'm hoping that the fitment is actually good. And let's peel off that plastic before you stick it on. And just like that, click right in. You can hear the clicks and you'll know that it's nice and secure. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this back inside, put the screws on, and then move on to the other side. Alright, so I got the driver's side front done, and yep, that looks pretty nice. So now, time to go to the other side and do the exact same thing. Oops. That wasn't supposed to happen. So basically on the other side the styrofoam was broken, so it was easier for me to access. This side is a lot harder. Didn't mean to break that. Good thing I'm not giving the fronts away, only giving the rears away. That was so much harder than the other side. Or after breaking the side marker, finally got it off. I'm gonna wipe this down as well and then put the new one on. Out with the old. Let's go ahead and plug this side in as well. Want to make sure that it works before I push it in, because don't want to have to go through all that again. Yep. Got power. Now we're good to just stick it right in. So now that we got this side plugged in, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the back, where I'm gonna have to do all the soldering and everything. So now we're gonna work on the rear. The rear is actually a lot easier to access because you're just going through the trunk. You're just gonna have to remove the inner lining and then you'll be able to just push it right through. So basically on the inside of the trunk, you wanna remove this screw right here, as well as the screw at the top. And then we have one screw right here and then a push pin right there. And same thing goes on the other side. You have the one screw right here, as well as the one screw on top, the one on the side, and then a push pin as well. Once you remove those, you'll be able to fold these inner linings down and then have access to the rear side markers. So I got all the screws out and I have easy access right to the rear side marker, so I should just be able to press the two pins on the side and should be able to just push it right out. There's one, and there goes the other side. So we got it out now. One rear Type S side marker out. So like I did mention before, I did have to solder on the Type S side marker connector because it is different compared to the base TLs. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut that off now and actually solder back on the base TL connector. So let me go ahead and show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. So this right here is the Type S connector. I did right here, you can see this is where I actually soldered on the connector. So I'm gonna have to actually cut this off and solder back on the old connector.
A few moments later.
All right, so finally got everything soldered up. As you guys can see, got it all soldered, got it heat shrunk tube as well. And the heat shrink tubing actually has a silicone lining so that it actually keeps it water resistant. So now I'm gonna plug in the rear side marker light and see how it looks. Got the keys. Oh yeah, there you go. And now onto the other side. And I got the other side out as well. And I also soldered this side too, so I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect this and resolder the new connector.
20 minutes later.
So finally got this side all soldered and heat shrunk as well. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get it connected and hopefully it works. All right, so let's pull off that plastic. Get it plugged in, make sure the connector is nice and snug. Oh, I forgot to wipe this down, so let me go ahead and wipe it down. All right, so got it all wiped down. Now time to click it in. Okay, I heard it click on both sides, so now just test it out and make sure it works. There you go. So now I got everything all done. All right, so now I got all the side markers on. I'm just gonna go ahead and finish up putting my trunk all back together, and then I'll do a little reveal of all of them all together when the car is on. All right guys, so finally got all the side markers installed and it turned out awesome. I definitely like how the black ones match my turn signals on my mirrors, how they're both blacked out. The side markers are way brighter compared to how they were with the factory ones. These definitely stand out way more. So let me go ahead and show you guys exactly what they look like on the car. guys, so that's it for today's video. I hope you guys really enjoyed the install on these side marker lights. The fronts definitely took a little bit more work than the rears, but definitely worth it in the end. If you guys enjoyed the video, smash that like button for me, and if you guys are new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. So hopefully by the time I uploaded this video, I already gave away the Type S side markers, so shout out to you, and see you guys in the next one.